Hey guys, this is Alex the Pirate Doggo, and today I have a good video for you. I'm going to be going over all the customs that I've created over the years, all the statues, and all that extra stuff. So as you can see right now, I didn't clear off the top shelf, we'll get to those, but this entire top shelf is cleared off. I've been meaning to want to do a collection video this for a while, and to be completely honest, I've just been too lazy to do it. So yeah, so let's get started with the first character. I'm gonna be putting him back how I had him before. So we have Crystal Bonnie. He's made entirely out of resin, or I guess this would be a better way. He's made entirely out of resin. You can see his guitar is a different color. His resin joints don't usually hold up too well. They get really loose over time. So yeah, I kind of like him. He's not my favorite. He's translucent and he kind of glows under here. So yeah, let's put him over here. And if you saw my original post about him, you know you can't have Crystal Bonnie without Crystal Foxy. So whereas he didn't have, you guys can't see that, but he's there. But if you guys could tell on him, he didn't have the Lego joints, but I did it for Foxy because of the model. These are made by King Spinox on Colts 3D. I didn't make them, but yeah. So you'll see soon that I used to have a Freddy. I still have a Chica. This is just an alternate head for her, and this is another Foxy head for like Halloween. But yeah, he, for whatever reason, the model that he did, they came with joints baked into the model, which, you know, as you know, they just said it's not good for longevity, because these figures tend to, you know, kind of stand around, and if my black light blasting them all the time, it makes the joints very brittle. So yeah, that usually whenever, I'm sorry this is jointed, this is completely, I have no script for this, but yeah, so this is King Spinox's Bonnie. I'm really sorry it's dusty, I've had him for years. Yeah, but yeah, as you can see, he's fully painted. He's got his guitar. I did glue his guitar in there so he could actually hold it. I usually keep him in this pose because I think it makes him look cuter. You know, he's waving to all the people, you know, about to perform a Freddy. But yeah, so there's Bonnie. With the black light you can see him pretty well. Usually on the shelf I had it going Fnaf 1, Fnaf 2, Fnaf 3. But I didn't put the nightmares in it with it, because I'm gonna be real, I just love these guys so much. But next up we have Chica. You know, again, King Spinox model. It's got the cupcake, I like to make some of my figures glow, like her bib, the wording on it glows, the cupcake's eyes and glow and stuff like that. So yeah, King Spinox, if you are watching this for whatever reason, I do wish you would separate the joints and just sell those as different models, like the jointless versions, so that people who don't want, or people who want to add the Lego joints, they can add them. Keeping in line with King Spinox models, yeah, Foxy, he used to be up here, but I phased him out because, you know, I just needed room to put better projects. So yeah, I do like the detail. Usually there would be these little swivel hinges in there, but I just glued 2 ball joints on the thighs for the pants. The reason I have these like this, or like in these specific poses, is because certain figures go in front of them. So on the shelf, you know, Mangle would have been there, and say another person would have been there. But yeah, next up we have Endo 01. I made a post about this guy. I don't really like him, but you know, for the first Endoskeleton, I think he's fine. I need to do Endo 02. And as you can see, there's a lot of dirt washing on the legs. And yeah, all these joints do move. I'm not going to move them because I only have one hand free, and it would be a pain to get them back into the position I want them in. But I'm not really happy with the neck joint there. I should have probably just deleted this ball joint and then just put the what's it called, the Lego joint on the back. So, controversial opinion, I know. Technically, I like to display Springtrap with these figures because obviously, you know, he's the main killer. This was a fully resin jointed figure. You can see his arms are still resin jointed. I didn't bother with that, but to give him more stability, I gave him a Lego jointed torso. That way he could, you know, stand up. And I don't know what the hell happened to one of his teeth. I don't know, but the paint is very, very sloppy on him. I'm gonna have to redo him with like an actual effort figure. But he's pretty inaccurate. I kind of like the colors, but at the same time I don't. The nose, I don't know why I didn't paint it. But yeah, the legs are ball joints, so he could stand properly. And even with these ball joints, he still doesn't stand. It's a gamble whether he's standing. Oh, well, nope. Standing pretty well right now. Also, that's another way you can tell if these are resin joints, is the joints glow, where the resin hasn't been covered up. But yeah, so next we have Golden Freddy. If you've watched me for any amount of time, you know I didn't start out making custom figures. Well, I didn't make this, but it's a model by Crocodile on Colts 3D. I started out making statues or little figurines like this. The paint job on him is very, very bad. I'm not happy with it whatsoever. But he's fine for what he is. You can see the paint coming off his hat. I didn't bother painting the endo on his head. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, you can see there I didn't bother painting a lot of supports. This is back before I was really good at, you know, well, quote unquote good at what I do. So, yeah, I usually just keep him, you know, slumped over. His head's gonna go back in. Come on, big guy. There you go. Close enough. I usually keep him like this over here. Come on. Okay, sorry for that cut. I did manage to get his head back on. And keeping in line with that, we have the Mangle. And there. Okay guys, so I got Mangle to stand back up. The joints on the waist are very loose, so I kind of just keep her in this position. It's fine for what it is. This was originally a resin joint printed figure. You can see, I think there. No, that's is that? I think it is a resin joint. I don't know why I didn't paint it. But yeah, she's missing a foot. I have no idea where it is. So we're gonna move Mangle right here. Okay, sorry about that cut again. She's standing up, she's in her place. I do wish I could have moved Foxy back there. There we go, Sonic. Yeah, this kind of helps, but I do wish Foxy was a bit, you know, closer to her, because that just takes up space. But yeah. So next up, we have a pair. We have Toy Chica. I'm really happy with this. I like the gloss varnish I did on her. You know, stamp Toy Chica. I did have a lot of trouble with the cupcake. I didn't even bother doing the different colored stripes on the actual chocolate part of the cake. I didn't bother filling in that because I think the glow makes it look better. You know, right there, the eyes glow on both Chica, the pink glows. So usually I have her displayed here, just in this corner. Great, Mangle's gonna fall again. But yeah, I moved Mangle back to the position next to Chica. Next is, I'm gonna be real, I really hate this figure. If you come over here, you can see he's got his older brother in there. That was a fully, you know, jointed figure, but I just didn't, you know, you know, it fell, so that's also Freddy's body. You can see his head there. This is actually where I put all my broken projects. Like Roxy here, she was a fully resin figure that I just Didn't bother fixing because I'm gonna do it. Fun fact about Alfredo, that is my first ever painted figure. I gotta find his ear and reattach it and he'll be back out. But you have broken down, decommissioned Fnaf 1 Bonnie. You can see Nightmare Fredbear parts in there, Toy Freddy, Withered Bonnie's torso, Funtime Freddy's torso. Some of these are just failed prints that, you know, either broke or just weren't as good as I'd like them to be. So yeah, back to the toy Bonnie. Yeah, there's supposed to be a little segment in between here to give it waist articulation. He's fallen, so he's basically just glued together. I'm really not happy with him. But usually, I just kind of have him front Chica there. Which, you know, I think that looks good enough, huh? Alright, now we move on to a figure I'm actually very proud of. As far as paint-wise, Withered Freddy. I really like how he came out, you know, some of the teeth aren't painted all the way. But this was the first ever fully accurate figure I've painted. He doesn't move, he's just a statue. But I really like him. Usually, or, well, you know, let me get a sneak peek. But this is Withered Bonnie. It's supposed to be the Help Wanted Bonnie. Withered Bonnie. But he's also a statue along with that Withered Foxy, which I'm gonna destroy later. Favorite this guy. But or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just keep him on the shelf just to hang out. But yeah. So I do like the way. Oh, we're on Withered Freddy. Sorry guys. But oh, that's a lot of thunder. But I do like this. The wires glow. The eyes glow. Hang on. Turn up the light. Ooh, spooky! So this is Withered Freddy in the dark. You can see his wires glow, his eyes glow, and that's about it on him. Because, you know, that's all that really needs to glow on Withered Freddy. So, yeah. Alright, next up. Put him on the shelf. I do want at least a little bit of space there so they can actually, you know, hang on, let me move them over a bit. I guess Bonnie, so I guess I'm fine with Bonnie being covered up. But yeah. So next, we got Withered Bonnie, showed him off. His wires, eyes, and all that other stuff glow. So yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Here you have Withered Foxy. At the time I was really proud of this figure, but growing over time, take his out of his mouth. But anyway, over time I'm not really too fond of him. The withering is just really bad. The hook, yeah. And yeah, I'm just really not a big fan of this. You can see some of the resin didn't get painted there. I think the foot broke or something. The foot broke, or I just am really bad at painting. But yeah, usually he has a lot of issues with standing, so I kind of just keep him with the Bonnie. Okay, I did a little rearranging, so a lot of more figures are visible. But you know, we do have the Fnaf 4 cast there. Yeah, but I'm gonna move on to sister location because that's who occupies this corner. So we have this Funtime Freddy. I did make a fully articulated Funtime Freddy, which was cut up from this model. Again, made by Crocodile on Colts 3D. But yeah, God, the support is really bad. But yeah, this was originally he had Bon. I tried to spray paint him, and it didn't work out so well, or I didn't like it, and then there goes his arm. But yeah, these figures are cut up into pieces. Get back in there, come on, Freddy. There you go. So yeah, his head comes out, his jaw comes out, and his arm comes out. So I mean, I like him because, you know, he glows really well in the dark. And Springtrap eyes are freaking me out. But yeah, I'm sure you can see there the pink glows, the teeth and eye glow for whatever reason. I was experimenting, or I had a ton of glow in the dark paint, so I just kind of, you can see Foxy's eyes and wires glow through there. But yeah, I just kind of I don't know what my thought was. He was kind of like Freddy's Power Out thing in the first game, where his eyes glow and his mouth glows. But I know they're not technically the same. But I was kind of trying to reference that, I think. But next, on to the next figure. It is Funtime Foxy. This is a fully resin figure. I did clear coat it for whatever reason. This has an extremely hard time just, you know, existing and standing up. So I'm not even gonna. Hey guys, again, sorry about these cuts, but Foxy is standing. Sorry about all these cuts, but I've noticed that a lot of my older figures like Mangle and Funtime Foxy kind of suck at the standing department, and the joints are so loose that they kind of just flop around. So yeah, there's Funtime Foxy. You know, the pink glows, the bow glows, the red glows, all that sort of stuff. Next up is Ballora. I gave her a little stand. You can see the joints are corrected. This is also another fully resin jointed model. Her shoulder is broken, and I never clear coated her because I'm gonna have to redo her eventually. You can see some of the supports that didn't break off right there. The paint job on her is like really bad. I think I was rushing to get her done. But yeah, I do kind of like the fact that the blue resin glows under the black light because it kind of fits for Ballora. So I kind of stick her next to Foxy here. And if you've played Sister Location, I think you know who's next. No, it's not Baby, it's not other Freddy, it is Ennard. So Ennard is not a fully resin printed joint or resin jointed figure. You can see the Lego ball joints glued there. Unfortunately, his hand did get glued like this, so I can't really move it. All these figures can articulate pretty decently. Just have them in their static poses because they look good on the shelf. But I'm kind of happy with the paint job. I think I was rushing through Ennard too because he was a one-day challenge. If you didn't know, the teeth are there really bad. Yeah, he was a one-day challenge. You can see his other eye. His eyes do glow if I turn off the light. You can see, oh yeah, here's what everybody looks like underneath the black light. But yeah, you can see Ennard's eyes glow. I didn't coat the black a lot, so it shows some of the glue through of the resin. And Ennard is a notorious non-stander, so I kind of just have him leaning up against Ballora. Come on, Ennard, work with me. Alright, and Ennard is standing up. Turn back on the light. Next, who do we have next? We don't have the, I think we had Security Breach next. So, first ever Security Breach character I did, Roxy. She was a fully resin printed figure. You can see, or resin jointed, sorry. I'm not that big of a fan of her. I think the Lego joints don't really work for a thinner design. But yeah. Her hair glows, her claws glow, you know, you can see right there, her eyes glow. But yeah, I'm not too happy with it. I did have Lego ball joints for the hands, just for longevity. The shoulders, I did not, for whatever reason. I think it's just because I didn't want to damage the figure by carving out the resin shoulder joints. But I have gotten a lot better with these, as you'll see in a minute. But for now, let's just put Roxy here. I guess that's okay. Right there. And you can't have one glam rock without the other. Oh. Yeah. Here we have Glamrock Bonnie. It's really storming outside. Hang on. You cannot tell, but it's getting there. Thunder. You know, I'm imagining lightning's coming soon, so I had to wrap this up quickly so my power doesn't go out. This is a Glamrock Bonnie, resin jointed. Not resin jointed, sorry. Lego jointed. The paint's a bit sloppy, but I'm really happy with how he looks. He does kind of just sit on my shelf, so that's a big plus. So it's not like he's going anywhere, but at the same time I kind of wish that some of these guys were a little better. Alright, another cut. These are just so I can position these figures the way I want them. Next we have Ruined Roxy. This is actually the first ever, well, it wasn't because Bon Bon was the first foil art. But he goes in a front. He was the first ever animatronic I made with like joints and all that stuff. But Ruined Roxy is the one I first ever painted, and the one I'm actually, she used to be a fully resin jointed figure, but I went back and I glued Lego joints into her so she could stay. As she's one of the OGs, so I have to keep her, in good condition. And yeah, she kind of just sits on the shelf like that. She doesn't really have any glowing parts. I would have done the hair to make it glow, but for whatever reason I didn't. So, and a lot of the silver is kind of dog water. Sorry about that, but yeah, so a lot of it glows under the black light. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be like entered where not a lot glows. But yeah. On to the next figure. This is a Shattered Roxy, printed in transparent green resin. Not really much to say about it. The transparency isn't really good on this figure. You can see her endos fully modeled in there. A lot of these figures are really dusty because they've just been on the shelf for so long. But yeah, it's not really too good to see through. You can see, I think, an air pocket popped in there. But yeah, this is the clearest point joint on her. You can see kind of through it. But yeah, so Roxy just kind of, sits next to her ruined counterpart right there on the shelf. Let's see who's next. Oh yeah, I do Poppy Playtime stuff, so too sometimes. So we have Miss Delight. I really like this figure because I like Miss Delight's character. We're gonna cover up Withered Foxy because he sucks. But yeah, the cheeks glow, the bow glows. I did paint fully onto the dress, and no, I'm not showing you because I'm not a pervert. But yeah, some of the joints, like on there, that's covered in glue. I had to glue it back in, or I had to glue it in. And yeah, so next, we have a fully glow-in-the-dark Miss Delight. I made this before I made her, so that should tell you something. But yeah, she completely glows in the dark. If I turn this off, and I supercharge her, you can see all the glowing parts of the other figures. But yeah. Sorry for all these cuts, and if I sound like I'm rushing, I got a lot of stuff to do today. So this is just a video I wanted to film to get it out of the way. Here we have Dog Day, Smiling Critter, not the monster design. But yeah, originally I didn't like the way he turned out, so I kind of just stuck him on the shelf behind a ton of other stuff. But looking back on it, I do like how he looks. The tongue glows for whatever reason. So, and where you have Dog Day, obviously, you're gonna have Catnap. I never printed the metal. A lot of these are missing pieces because I'm kind of just really lazy, and I didn't really feel like doing it. But yeah, I did paint all the stitching on him to the best of my ability. You got his tail. The purple didn't go on too well, and his eyes did well. Yeah, you can see it there, but yeah, I'm not too proud of him, but just to get him out of the way and say, hey, I did make some of the Poppy Playtime characters. He is there, and he usually sits in front of Entered, which is, better watch yourself, buddy. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing over there. But next up, I believe we are finally on to the Nightmares. So first that I like to display is Nightmare Freddy. I'm really happy with the way he turned out. I believe he is super accurate. I will eventually print separate Freddles so you can put them on a bed display if you do print it. Not too happy with the hands, the pose of the hands, but it's fine. But yeah, his jaw is articulated. You can see the ball joint in there, waist, shoulders. All these Freddles do have glowing eyes. So let's see if I can capture that. Kinda. This guy is always over here. But yeah. I'm super happy with him. I think he's the second best nightmare that I've ever done. So I kind of just... Freddy. Hey guys, so Alex from the future here. I recorded a segment for Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Chica. It got corrupted for whatever reason whenever I tried to add it to the actual video. So I'll talk about him here. The black on him, you know, all the glowing blue is supposed to be black. I did go over it once with the black, but he was made out of translucent smoky gray black resin. So it does shine through, or it looks black whenever you paint over it. So yeah, he is a fully Lego jointed figure. Now on to Chica, she's got her one missing eye. She doesn't have 3 rows of teeth, which I'm kind of upset about. You got the cupcake. I don't like the way I did her bib. Her bib has yellow on it when it shouldn't. I got sloppy with the paint, and you can see some of the parts down there where they're ripped. I didn't paint it, but I'm super happy about the lower part because I think this is spot on. Obviously, you have some of the resin showing through, but that's okay. I think you got her, you know, claws and her cupcake. And now on to my first ever nightmare that I painted, or I printed and painted. Nightmare Foxy. He's a dual printed figure. In other words, he has Lego or resin joints and Lego joints. That's a resin joint, Lego resin. I believe that's all. I believe this whole arm is resin. His waist. Is that resin? It is. His legs are. His legs are Lego joints. And yeah, it's basically full legs are Lego joints. So I usually keep them displayed next to Chica. A lot of these figures I don't display, or I don't pose whenever I display them, but I keep Foxy posed because I just think, you know, standing Nightmare Foxy would be kind of weird, even though all these other guys are standing. But yeah, I always keep him sort of in this pose. It gives him more dynamic, and that's the pose I had him. But yeah, where you have all the nightmares, you obviously have Nightmare Fredbear. This was once again a fully resin. You can see where I carved out the holes for the joints. I'm not too proud of him. I'm much fonder of this one. Fully translucent Nightmare. But I need to do Nightmare Fredbear in the future. Eventually. His hat does glow, his hat and bow tie. I thought it would be really cool if I show you how he stands. You know, he's always posted up there, and if I turn out the lights, you can see he gets fully black, his eyes glow, or the little pupils in between glow. His bow tie glow, all the Nightmare's eyes glow, the Cupcake's eyes, and those can't glow. So I'm really happy with them. Now on to the next. It is Jacko Chica. Sorry, not Jacko Chica. Yes, this is Jacko Chica. Everyone's been gaslighting me this whole time, but no. This is Jacko Bonnie. Pretty recent figure. I did make an executive decision, because normally it's just the head and the torso that glows. But and the rest is black like in there, but no, in the spirit of Halloween I wanted to make him like a full jack-o'-lantern. So if I put him up here in front of Dog Day, he does glow, the whole part of him glows. So that's awesome. Catnap's eyes glow. But I'm always super happy. I didn't used to like it, but I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I did miss a couple of spots. You can see there on the legs I missed. That's okay. I do like the way he looks right now. And next up we have... well, why not? We'll go in order. We have Bon Bon, my first full ever figure. He was a fully resin figure until I added some Lego joints, like on some of the arm. On one of the arms, I believe. And yeah, I do his ears move, both of his ears, the top and the bottom. I usually display him with this little Bonnie thing. or this little Bonnie thing. Shout out to Sunflower's Art Corner for sending it in a package with it, with a print that I ordered over there. And yeah, next up we have Ignited Bonnie. I don't really like, I do like the way he turned out, I'll say that. The blue, I feel, is just a bit too dark. The wires glow. I'll show the full shelf, you know, under UV light. The wires glow. His eyes do glow, and the wires glow. So usually, I have Ignited Bonnie posted up here, right in front of, you know, Nightmare Bonnie. And yeah, you'd think I would have put him back there, but with the Withers. But here's the Endo. I think it's Angel, I believe. Fully Lego ball jointed figure. I painted him recently. He isn't. His eyes are supposed to be fully black, but in his jump scare, it has little red dots, and they glow. That's a very bad portrayal of that, but yeah, they do glow. I keep him next to Ignited Bonnie because obviously, you know, can't have one without the other. Right, next figure we have is Dolly. Dolly is my favorite character from Secret of the Mimic. You can see some of the straps didn't get painted all the way. Most of this just boils down to laziness or rushing. I'm really happy with the way the eyes turned out, but that's because it would have been really hard to mess it up otherwise. So yeah, her lips do glow, and I think the name tag glows on Dolly, but other than that, that's about it. That's all that glows on her. Keep her over there so she can hold my profile icon for my YouTube. This was originally my gonna be my profile icon before it was changed out for Palmont from the Pokemon series, and then I got an art commission done from Sunflower's Art Corner, so she did my current icon. So yeah, next up we don't have a Fnaf animatronic, but we do have a character I really like, Agatha from the Dark Deception series. Not much to say, she is fully articulated, her neck articulates. Kind of, I don't really like the face on it. There's another Agatha I did that, you know, the face looks a lot better, but I kind of just keep her in this pose because this is kind of her neutral pose. So, and she looks better on the shelf displayed. And for Halloween, I did the Halloween skin for Agatha. Not really much to say. She's got her pumpkin dress, green shirt, orange hair, and she did have these little like highlights around her eyes. I wasn't really sure how to do that, so I just put a little bit of orange. And yeah, so I usually keep her next to the other Agatha. If I can fit her hand over there with that Foxy. Alright, so sorry about that. Foxy fell over and took Agatha with him. So, yeah, we have the two Agathas that I always like to display, because, you know, Agatha's the GOAT. Next is kind of a head of a giant action figure. It's Withered Freddy. I never did finish him. His hat is removable. His hat's around here somewhere. Like I'm looking at it. But I usually keep him displayed right here. Yeah, not really much to say about him. Like, there's not really much I can say that you can't see for yourself. And now on for one of the strangest figures I've made. Fetch. Fetch is, you know, a dog animatronic. So, you know, obviously, I've never done a four-legged character. I don't think I've done a four-legged character. Have I done a four-legged character? No. No, I haven't done a four-legged character, but so Fetch is the first. I gave her Monty's well, technically they're Glamrock Bonnie's sunglasses, but I gave it to him for Halloween, and I just really like the way he looks with them on. So he's kind of, you know, DJ Snoop Dogg or something. That was a funny ass cringe. But yeah. So I did put up a bunch of miscellaneous figures, like this Pikachu and this. Both of these are shiny. If you, my Pokemon fans know what shiny is, but basically they're different colored variants of Pokemon. Then you have the goat himself, Freddy Fazcan. Little he does have a hole in him. He was originally made for a skit that I just never ended up doing. So I'll give him to Agatha. Why not? And Fetch is guarding that Agatha. Then we have Tattletale. For those who are old, like me, this is an indie horror character, Tattletale. If you don't know who it is, look it up. Pretty big game back in the day, like around 2015, 14, I believe, whenever Fnaf was just getting good. But yeah, I usually keep Tattletale for the, it is thematically correct for this time of year because it is Christmas, or it is around Christmas time. Usually with all these blank spots, I have different heads and stuff that I put in here, like this. I should really just make this Phantom Chica. But yeah, then you got Halloween Foxy head. Haha head, I get it, blah blah blah. Now we have these tiny little figures that I made. This is a spare cupcake to the one back there on Chica. I believe I made this one first, because that one's stuck to the plate. And then you have the Halloween cupcake. Shout out to him. No, here we have the Halloween cupcake. It does glow, the candle glows and the eyes glow, and the inside of the mouth glows too. So I'll show you guys that once, you know, everything's all put together and back in their spot. We have the Fnaf office pumpkin, or the jack-o'-lantern from the first couple of games. No, this isn't Nightmare or Jacko Chica's cupcake. Or not cupcake, sorry. Whew, my brain is fried today. I apologize, but no, that's not Jacko Chica's pumpkin. And yeah, this is what the shelf usually looks like. It's all full. I really like it. But on to up here. We have a couple Digimon figures up there. Let me move Nightmare off, because everybody's already seen you. I post you enough. So, next, we have Funtime Foxy, or Fixed Mangle. I did get this model off of Sketchfab. So, yeah, I don't know whose edit it is. I could always look it up and tell you if you guys want to know. But, yeah. She does glow. Hang on, I'll show you once everybody else. Banjo, you're not supposed to be here. You are not Fnaf. Buddy thinks he's part of the team. But, no. Then you have Frostbear and Glamrock Mangle, both fully articulated. And then we have the newest addition is Withered Foxy. So all these figures I kind of keep up here because they ran out of room down here, which is obvious. But yeah, so I'm gonna cut and I'm gonna show you guys the display in the dark and it with the Christmas. All right, guys. So these are all the fellas. Have it. So these are all the fellas under the black light. I do like the way all of them glow, or give them glowing elements. Up here you have Jesus, the most important character in all of Fnaf. But you got Nightmare, Funtime Foxy, nothing on Frostbear I believe glows. No, it doesn't look like it. Banjo Kazooie, Glamrock Mangle, and Withered Foxy. So yeah, for those who have been asking me to do a... Well, nobody's asked me, I just needed to do this eventually. So for all of them who have wanted to see all of my customs on my shelf and not so much go into depth, or, you know, well, I tried to go into depth, I don't really have much to say about them. Had most of them for a really long time. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share around, it doesn't really matter to me. I do this as a fun hobby, but if you guys liked it, then just let me know, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.